Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Which way does this sit?
Good afternoon to everybody here in the room at the Global Day of Jewish Learning site, and good afternoon to everybody out there in live stream land. This is Megan and Naomi, and the title of this session is called "What's Love Got to Do with It?" Love, self-divine, and everything in between. And I was excited about hearing about this theme because I've never sort of really looked at liturgy in that sense, or sort of my experience with Jewish values and Jewish content in that sense, just like looking at love. I'm a songwriter, I'm a Jewish worship musician, a Jewish educator, and also a Jewish rock musician. And most of my music is informed, actually all of my music is informed, more of it overtly and some of it more subtly, by my experience with Jewish learning. So I'm going to take us through a little journey for those of you out there in live stream land. If you have a Siddur or a prayer book, there are some prayers that I'll refer to, and you're welcome to sort of check them out and look at them. And for those in the room, we have some source sheets that I really invite you to just be in the experience, to listen to the music. If you feel like singing along, you're welcome to, and we'll get going. So the first angle that I sort of investigated was, we have this core commandment to love your neighbor as you love yourself, but if you don't love yourself, then how good are you going to be at loving your neighbor? So I went into this place of self-love, and the first place I investigated was the moment that we wake up in the morning. The Elohai Neshama, which you wouldn't think of as a love song necessarily, but the Elohai Neshama really says, my God, the soul that you placed in me is free, is pure, is in itself how it's supposed to be. And that's a process, I think, of saying that Elohai Neshama is a process of self-love. It's actually a practice of reminding yourself that you are inherently good, right? So I'm going to share with you the Elohai Neshama, which is actually, we don't know who wrote the actual prayer itself, the liturgy. I wrote the English translation of this. And people have been saying this probably for somewhere around 1,500 years. So it's a tried and true practice. And I invite you to practice it yourself.
What's inside of me, I can breathe. Elohai Neshama Shenatata bi Elohai Neshama Tehorahi, won't you breathe it in? Oh, let it out. All the noise can make you forget what it's all about. Breathe it in, breathe it deep inside. And I'm grateful for this moment that I'm alive. I can breathe, breathe. Elohai Neshama Shinatatavi Elohai Neshama Jehorahi Elohai Neshama Shinatatavi Elohai Neshama Jehorahi Nasir my soul, that you placed in me, my God, my soul, my breath is pure and free, my God, my soul, my breath that you placed in me, my God, my soul, my breath is pure and free, so breathe, oh breathe, oh Neshama Shinatatavi Tehorahi. So this idea of self-love, in the morning, it's a practice. All day long, it's a practice. Those voices inside your head that are, kind of like your inner judge or inner critic at all times, they just keep popping up and appearing. So it really, really, really is a practice coming back to that original morning intention. And then, way at the other end, when we go to bed at night, we have those pieces as well too, reminding ourselves of self-love. But I will say that I do a decent amount of work with teenagers and pre-teenagers, and specifically with girls. And so this idea of getting into the Elohai Neshama and like reminding myself, taking a breath, forget all the noise can help us forget what it's all about. It actually caused me to pause and to think about my own experience and those sort of pivotal, seminal experiences in your junior high lifetime that could set you along on a path of perhaps more self-criticism than needs to happen. And so I thought back to after I wrote Elohai Neshama, I really thought about my own junior high experience and a particular moment where I didn't practice that self-love, and I fell prey to the voices not just inside but outside that were telling me that being different is not cool, that having a different opinion is not cool, that wearing different clothing is not cool, that liking different music is not cool. And all those voices of what you like and don't like were just sort of really oppressive. I don't know, Megan, if you had that experience as well too, but yeah. So I ended up writing a song based on that called "The Real Me." Sort of taking that Elohai Neshama and putting it into my secular life, which really is there any divide between, and sort of wrote it as an anthem to my 13-year-old self, but also as an anthem to everybody's 13-year-old selves, even when they're 42. Okay, this is called "The Real Me." Everybody has a On my table, painted faces, paper spies can be unkind, wanting me. I don't buy what you tell me to be. I got something more than what you wanna see. I just figured something out. I'm breaking in the rim. I don't hear what you tell me to be. I got something more than what you wanna see. I'm gonna show you what this girl is about. I'm gonna show you this one's the real me. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. I remember when it happened. I think I said something wrong. So what if I like something different? You've been trying to change my mind for too long. I don't buy what you tell me to be. I got something more than what you wanna see. But I just figured something out. I'm breaking in the real me. I don't hear what you tell me to be. I got something more than what you wanna see. I'm gonna show you what this girl is about. I'm gonna show you this one's the real me. It gets so confusing. How can I have two lives? But you don't see the one I keep inside. Well, I can point my finger, but I'm the one who hides. I think it's time I just get off this ride. 'Cause I see you, read you, tell you how I feel. I'll show you. I'm so through. Jump into the me who chooses something new. I don't buy what you tell me to be. I got something more than what you wanna see. I just figured something out. I'm breaking in the real me. I don't hear what you tell me to be. I got something more than what you wanna see. I'm gonna show you what this girl is about. I'm gonna show you what this girl is about. I'm gonna show you this one's the real me. So, Naomi Less of 13, thanks you too. So getting back to that kind of self-love piece, I think the tradition also has something to shift us into kind of love of the divine, and that's a really hard concept to think about. The first thing that came to mind when I thought about moving from self-love to love of the divine is that they're really intertwined. And I was thinking about when I go to bed at night, right, that also at that time, voices can come into you. It's like sort of everything falls away from the day and you get stressed out and you think about what you didn't accomplish and all the things that are on your mind. And I don't know if any of you ever experienced like you're about to fall asleep and then you sort of like wake up and, oh, darn it, I didn't do that, or why didn't I call that person or connect with that thing or what have you. And so there's this like little bridge that I was thinking about between self-love and love of the divine, which is to ask for help going to sleep, right? That we have these traditions in Judaism and in many traditions that we ask actually for help to fall asleep. And that has something to do with our love of ourself, I think, and also the love of the divine. Because if you're really, if you're really sort of surrendering yourself when you go to sleep, there's a trust piece that comes in. I surrender myself. We actually have a beautiful prayer, the Adon Olam, that actually speaks about that. And just a side note, I'm on a big campaign to move Adon Olam away from processionals and back to the nighttime prayer that I think it was intended to be. It just feels like when you're saying something like, in your hand I place my spirit. That's sort of like, Adon Olam, like something incongruous about that, right? In my hand, in your hand, I place my spirit. And it's like, oh, really? Like, no, that's like intimate and vulnerable. So I've been thinking a lot about Adon Olam. And Adon Olam is actually such a beautiful, rich prayer. It's so jam-packed with massive theological concepts. It's massive, it's huge. And it goes all the way from like sort of master of the universe, kind of big, huge ideas, to a very funneled down personal relationship with however you understand your connection to the source, to the divine, to God. But that's a journey. And we actually don't know exactly who the Adon Olam was written by. I've actually did some research on this, and there's actually 3 people that it's attributed to, all who are masters at creating liturgies. Even Gabriel, Solomon even Gabriel, who was really, around 1040, 1050, and then earlier, Reb Chai Gaon, earlier, almost a generation earlier than even Gabriel, and some people have even attributed it back all the way to the Talmudic sage Yochanan ben Zakkai. So whoever is really the Paitan that created this imagery, I send thank you, because it's helped me so many times as I fall asleep to just surrender to something bigger, something greater than myself, which connects me to a certain kind of love of the divine. So this Adon Olam was written for my nephew, who is now 19. It was written when he was a young child and had trouble falling asleep. And so I dedicate this to Brandon out there. I don't know if he's watching. But as you'll hear the melodies start to come forward, and you're really welcome to sing along. I know the live stream folks will appreciate that as well too. Maybe they'll sing along as well. When I get home. Adon Olam, Hashem Adonai, בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא בחפצו כל, אזי נלך שמו נקרא. ואחרי ככלות הכל, לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא ההווה, והוא יהיה לתפארה. והוא אחד ואין שני, העם שלו להכבירה. בלי ראשית בלי תחתית, לא העוז והמבצע. והוא עדי וחי אוהבי, בצור חבלי בעת צרה. והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ויום אקרא. בידו אפקיד רוחי, ועת תשם בהעירה. ואם רוחי גוויעתי, אדונה לי ולא יירא. תפקיד רוחי ותישן והעירה ואם רוחי גבייתי אדוני לא אירה. That's beautiful. Thank you. So there's the other side of that falling asleep, and that's sort of the fear factors of falling asleep. And the Hashkivenu prayer is another prayer that we have to sort of connect up with self-love and divine love, and asking for that help of falling asleep. And so I did some deep study on the Hashkivenu prayer. It's a fascinating prayer. And when I looked at this, I was like, I remember sitting out at somewhere in the country. I was on a gig on an artist in residency weekend, and I was awake in my hotel room, and I literally could not fall asleep. And I started to panic, and I could get up tomorrow morning and to do all this music. And it was like the more I tried to fall asleep, I couldn't. I was just like, please, please, please help me fall asleep. And then of course I was like, help me fall asleep. So I cracked open. It's not really cracked open. Computers are like that. So I cracked open my computer, but I cracked open my computer to the Hashkivenu online. So it was like kind of like a Siddur, but the other way. And I realized that these concepts in Hashkivenu were so what I was feeling, like the night fears. My teacher, Rabbi Ravi Harris, when I was at JTS, we were studying this, and he said, back in the day when they were writing these pieces of liturgy, what could have been going on at night that would have caused them to, write to keep the Satan, like all these influences, the adversarial influences, and all the people that mean me harm away from me. Well, back in the day when it was dark, it was dark. There wasn't electricity. And so all these different kinds of night fears that we may not have living in our modern century existed. Some of those now are internal fears, but we have hopefully less of the external fears. So this is a song. This is an archival song from the Naomi Less archives, from my overt Jewish music, when I was writing Jewish music, but nobody knew it was Jewish except really for me, and playing down on Bleecker Street. And I would play like liturgical music, at the bitter end, and nobody would know the difference because they just, felt like it was connecting to them. So this is called Spread Your Love. And you may notice I use the word Satan in it because the word Satan is in the Hashkivenu. And so I really translated that as these adversarial influences in our lives, the ones that sort of beat us down or push against us, or are those blocks in our path. So you can imagine that when I did this live, that I had a couple of Christian folks who came up to me like, that was great, and I love how you're like pushing the Satan away, and I was like, yeah, so it's like, come together a little bit. I think your notion of Satan is a little different than mine, but we're all one. Here we go. So, spread your love. This is on the other side of like waking yourself up a little bit. Feel free to clap, tap, or sing along. Spread your wings and cover this bounty. Spread your wings right across the sea. Spread your wings in a soft canopy just to spread your love on me. Oh, spread your love on me. When I hear all the noises coming out in the night, spread your love on me. When I run from the shadows of my inner divine, spread your love over me. When my soul feels trapped in a small outer space, spread your love over me. spinning and I wanna erase. Spread your love over me. Spread your wings and cover this bounty. Spread your wings right across the sea. Spread your wings with a soft canopy. Just spread your love over me. Oh, spread your love over me. When darkness drapes right over my life, spread your love over me. And I wanna find the strength just to run and hide. Spread your love over me. So I ask, oh please keep us Satan away. Spread your love over me. In the shadow of your wings, all that I can do is pray. Yeah, spread your love over me. Oh, lay me down. Oh no, I'm falling. Oh, rest my eyes from all that I see. All I see, all my mind's uprooted. It's thrown from the center. Oh, spread a blanket over me, over me. Tell everybody. When the world seems to plunge in a downward dive, spread your love over me. And I wanna find the strength just to run and hide. Spread your love over me. When the existential questions begin to drown, spread your love over me. And I yearn for the sanded peace to come around. Spread your love over me. Oh, oh, lay me down. Oh no, I'm falling. Oh, oh, rest my eyes from all that I see. All I see, all my mind's uprooted. It's from the center. Oh, oh, spread a blanket. Oh, spread a blanket. Oh, spread a blanket over me, yeah, over me. Spread your wings and cover this bounty. Spread your wings right across the sea. Spread your wings in a soft canopy. Just spread your love over me. Oh, spread your love over me. Yeah. So you can see at the end of the Hashkivenu it says, Bros Aleinu Sukkah Shlomecha, and that's really the essence of where that song came from. Like, please, but what is that? What is the Sukkah Shlomecha, right? What is the Sukkah of peace? How does that descend upon us when we go to sleep, when we ask for help falling asleep? So that sort of was the focus of where that essence came from. So from there, asking for that deep love to help fall asleep, to help sort of shift your own mindset into being more gentle to yourself. Then I get into the conversation with myself as I think about love and love of the divine. I think about, well, how is it possible to really love the divine? I mean, we have a lot of mandates for that, actually. It says v'ahavta et Adonai l'chacha, and to love your God. How does that manifest, really? And before I could get to that question, I had to then investigate, well, what is actually my relationship with God? Or however I understand that. And I was struck by one phrase that is in many synagogues over the Ark. You often see, Da lifnei mi ata omed. Know before whom you stand.
So that's probably the first part of loving God, or loving, feeling that great abundance, is to know. And then you get into the question of, well, how are you supposed to know God? I mean, okay, check please, I don't know, what does that even mean? So this next song is called Da, chorus is Da Lifnei Mi'ata, and it's actually, it dates back to the Talmud in Masachet Brachot. It's in the context of a conversation where Rabbi Eliezer was sick, and his students asked him, how does one merit the world to come? How does one work towards that? And so he answered a few things of how you would merit the world to come, and one of those things is to know when you're praying before whom you stand. And it's like, oh, okay, great, thanks for the advice. How are you supposed to do that? So the more I thought about my relationship with the divine, the more I got stuck, because I felt like it was really one-sided. And so usually when I get stuck or I'm challenged by something, that's when I start to write. So this is the conversation I had with myself about Da Lifnei Mi'ata Omed, know before whom you stand. It's simply called Da. Thought I knew what I had, didn't own it. Been a while out of touch, have I blown it? Why still try when you are silent by my side? Oh, oh, listen up, no one else has to hear it. You and me, just this once, can we clear it? I start to pray, tell me what will it make a difference anyway? 3 steps back, then 3 ahead. Will you find me this time instead? Darling, baby, I'm tired, and I just want to know what it takes to bring you round. Beat my heart till I fall down. Oh, oh, darling, baby, I'm tired, and I just want to know. I am standing here and want to know you. Tell me how to show you. Oh, oh. Little girl long ago was your best friend. Every day knew the way to ask you questions. Seems that she could hear everything she needs. Oh, oh, now I'm grown and I never seem to find you. Been so long since we spoke, should I remind you? Hey, I'm still here. What do I have to do to make it clear to you? 3 steps back, then 3 ahead. Will you find me this time instead? Darling, baby, I'm tired, oh man, I just want to know what it takes to bring you round. My heart till I fall down. Oh, oh, darling, baby, I'm tired, oh man, I just want to know. I am standing here and want to know you. Tell me how to show you. Oh, oh, never be on a permanent vacation. All I ask is a quiet conversation. Hear me, I am waiting. Oh, oh, never leave, never wanna be without you. Break my heart to think I could ever doubt you. Covering my eyes, I hope to find you somewhere deep inside. Don't let me out, oh man, I just want to know what it takes to bring you round. Beat my heart till I fall down. Oh, oh, darling, baby, I'm tired, oh man, I just want to know what it takes to bring you round. Oh, oh, are you ready to
ground. Well, I'll just wait till you come down. So that's a continuing conversation, and I think it will be probably for the rest of my life. So moving from this self-love piece to kind of like trying to experiment with what does that mean for the love of the divine, I inevitably come to, well, that manifests itself in the love of others, right? So the love of the divine is actualized by loving others in one way. So that was sort of the place where I went to next in thinking about how what I'd like to share with you. And I came to the prayer Hadar Avtanu with a great love. We are loved, massive love, enduring, never-ending, incredible love. We have the liturgy itself is talking about the love for the people of Israel. So if that's a model, right, and to expand it beyond the particular around Israel, but all people, if there is this great abundance of love in the world for all people, then that's our model that we should be enacting too. And we come back to that idea of like the Torah really talks to us about love so much. I mean, I looked it up. There are 36 times, according to my sources, that it says love the stranger in the Torah. It says love your neighbor, obviously. It says love your God with all your heart, the Vihata, right? But 36 times it says love the stranger, more than any other kind of love. So that also made me think about what does it mean? What does it mean to manifest this Ahava Rabbah, this big, big love? And I was drawn to a beautiful translation of Avat Olam by Rabbi Rami Shapiro. It says, "We are loved by an unending love. We are braced by arms that find us even when we're hidden from ourselves. We're soothed." All these kinds of models for us to look at how we manifest our love in the world. So I want to share with you a song that I wrote called "What You Give." And it kind of taps into that love that we can love for each other, and that the actual life that we live is really about the love that we give. So this is called "What You Give." My friend, I hear your trouble. You got no love to give. The world is out to get you. It's just no way for you to live. Your sadness starts to blind you from seeing out that peace. But you should know the way you make me feel. You bring me joy. Sasson Vesimcha. You bring great love. Ahava Rabbah. And I believe Ani Pa'amina, that the life you live is about what you give. Oh, oh, oh. My love, I know your troubles, but I don't comprehend how the pain will never turn you bitter in the end. You never show the truth behind your unassuming smile. So rest a minute, listen to my words. You bring me joy. Sasson Vesimcha. You bring great love. Ahava Rabbah. And I believe Ani Pa'amina, that the life you live is about what you give. Now listen. When I've been down, there's always someone who shows what's true. And I know there's so My world, I know your troubles, but that's not all I see. Miracles can live inside a desperate tragedy. The power is within you, spread happiness around. Stop a minute, shout love you found. Bring me joy, so I sow the seed in life. Bring great love. I believe I need my meaning now. That the life you live is about what you give. Bring me joy, I sow the seed in life. Bring great love. I believe I need my meaning now. That the life you live is about what you live. Here we go. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. So we have time for one more, and I'm not going to lie to you. This sometimes is a hard song for me to get through. This is a song. It's called "Because You're Near Me," and in thinking about love, we've been through this journey of self-love into divine love, into what's the big secret in the back? so let us in if it's good. So we've gone through this journey of self-love into what we could possibly mean by divine love, into the love of others. And when I think about the love of others, the tendency is to think big love for people, get involved in different kinds of campaigns to help. I'm actively involved in really keeping attention around the girls from Chibok, Nigeria, who were kidnapped, 219 of them still out there. It's quick how our attention fades so quickly is never. I never get used to that. How things become blips, and certainly thinking about our brothers and sisters in Paris, and our brothers and sisters in Beirut, and our brothers and sisters in Jerusalem, who we want to send that love out there, but coming back to more intimate love. It's not but and coming back to more intimate love. I went back to family and looked and thought about the fact that it doesn't say love your parents in the Torah, right? What does it say? Respect and honor. And also fear or have awe, right? There's two mentions of it in the Torah. It doesn't say love your parents. And I don't know, I feel like rewriting that. I feel like, wow, we manifest respect and care and sometimes awe and fear of our parents. But I'd like to grab hold of that love piece and send it to our parents as well, if they're here with us, or if they're not, or if there's somebody who's like a parent in our lives that's helped to raise us and help us navigate these crazy shores. So I wrote this song. Actually, the music was written by my partner and my writing partner and life partner, Glenn Grossman, and that's a unique thing as well too. There's a lot of love and respect and fear and awe in that, in writing and working with your partner. But so he wrote the music to this and shared it with me, and I said, "That's gorgeous. I want to write to that." And I said, my mom's birthday is coming up. I'd like to write her a song. And my mother is in deep trials with Parkinson's. And I've watched her kind of, her body and a lot of her life spirit kind of become smaller. And I wanted to shine back to her. This is why sometimes it's hard to get through this song. So I wanted to really shine back to her what it means for her
like what her guidance through this life has been to me, and shine that back to her in her period of not so much strength. Let me emanate some of that back to her. So this is called Because You're Near Me, and I will do my best to share it with you. And we'll end with this song, and then I'll hang around for any questions. I really want to thank everybody from 24 by 24 and Global Day of Jewish Learning for this beautiful, warm opportunity to share with you and to learn with you. I really deeply want to thank Megan Talley for bringing her beautiful spirit to this as well. And this is called Because You're Near Me. In my mind, you're standing tall. You weather sudden storms that never seem to fall. Like the safety that a lighthouse can provide, find my way to reassurance in your eyes. The truth may be that you're 1,000 miles from me, but I need to hear your voice. I know it's so hard to believe. I'll take this opportunity to tell you what you mean to me. You know I love it when you're near me. Please don't shy away from me. I'll be the mirror you won't see. I am who I am because you're near me. Because you're near me. You taught me patience helps you to survive. You showed me sometimes a soft voice calms the storms inside. But I'd do anything to keep you safe from pain. All I can do is try to explain that you're near me. I'll take this opportunity to tell you what you mean to me. You know I love it when you're near me. Please don't shy away from me. I'll be the mirror you won't see. I am who I am. I'll take this opportunity to tell you what you mean to me. You know I love it when you're near me. Please don't shy away from me. I'll be the mirror you won't see. I am who I am because you're near me. Because you're near me. When you're near me. Near me. Thank you very much, Megan Talley and Naomi Less. You can get all this music on www.naomiless.com, so you can listen to it again. Thank you so much.